The first humans were created in a state of innocence, but they lost their purity and happiness because of disobedience. Let's explore the story of the fall of man.
In the beginning, God created a paradise on earth, a place known as the Garden of Eden. Lush trees, vibrant flowers, and sparkling rivers adorned this peaceful sanctuary. It was a perfect home for Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, created in God's own image. They lived happily, tending to the garden and walking freely with God, who gave them one command. They were free to eat from any tree in Eden, but they must never eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. One day, Adam and Eve strolled hand in hand, enjoying the beauty around them. The animals played peacefully at their feet, and the air was filled with the scent of blossoms. But in the center of the garden stood two magnificent trees, the tree of life, radiating warmth, and beside it, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, mysterious and enticing. They often passed by the tree of knowledge, curious yet obedient, reminding themselves of God's command. But one day, Eve lingered. She studied the fruit, captivated by its beauty and wondering why it was forbidden. As she gazed, a serpent appeared, its scales gleaming under the sunlight as it coiled around a branch. It looked at Eve with cunning eyes, speaking in a voice both smooth and persuasive. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The serpent asked her. "We may eat from the trees in the garden," Eve replied, "but we are not to eat or even touch the fruit from this tree, or we will die." The serpent said, "You won't surely die. You will only be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve hesitated, her curiosity now stronger than ever. The fruit looked delicious, promising something she had never tasted before, knowledge. Eve reached up, plucked the fruit, and took a bite and also gave it to Adam, and he, too, took a bite. In a moment, both felt a profound change. They looked at each other with new awareness and realized they were naked. A feeling of shame and vulnerability swept over them as they quickly gathered leaves to cover themselves. As the sun began to set, they heard God walking in the garden. Trembling, Adam and Eve hid among the trees, ashamed of their disobedience. But God called out, "Adam, where are you?" Adam replied, his voice quivering, "I heard you and was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God's voice was filled with sorrow and authority. "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam, casting a nervous glance at Eve, said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate." God turned to Eve, asking gently, "What is this you have done?" Eve looked down, ashamed. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." God then turned to the serpent and cursed it. He then foretold a struggle between the serpent and the descendants of Eve, a battle between good and evil. To Eve, he said, "I will greatly increase your pain in childbirth, with pain, you will bring forth children." To Adam, he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate from the tree, cursed is the ground because of you. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground from which you were taken." The sorrow was immense. With a heavy heart, God sent Adam and Eve out of the garden to live in a world outside Eden. An angel with a flaming sword guarded the entrance, preventing them from returning. The story of Adam and Eve's disobedience is often viewed as the origin of human suffering and moral struggle. Their choice led to a separation between humanity and God, introducing pain, hardship, and mortality into the world. In summary, the story of Adam and Eve reminds us of the importance of choice, responsibility, and humility. In a world affected by their disobedience, striving for spiritual growth, moral strength, and compassion can help lead us closer to the peace we all seek.